Welcome back to This Week in Jump, number 16, part 3. Continuing off with My Hero Academia.
That's high for you.
Yeah,
I liked this chapter too.
I did. Twice is actually using his ability. We get a
Explanation
of his ability. He can make anything a copy of. It won't last as long, and it will be more fragile than the original. But apparently, he's not able to reproduce the bullets that negate quirks.
Yeah, from the Yakuza.
Yeah, so he really bummed out Shigaraki when he told him that. And I think it really got to him. Like, I wanted to try to use my ability, even though I'm so afraid of making copies of myself. I can at least do this.
He needed to have more data to do it, is what he was saying.
Yeah.
Which, understandable.
Yeah. Also, make some money. Literally. Make some money. You don't need to work that hard, just keep printing it. But the Sad Man's Paradise, or Sad Man's Parade attack is just cool. It's just him multiplying himself over and over and over again.
And it just looks like a flood in a wall.
Yeah.
A tsunami of people.
Yeah, and like, oh, we're not supposed to, like, kill him. Well, we have to if we want to survive, essentially. And
they show the street view.
Yeah, it's crazy.
They look like ants.
Like, and Reed Destro is just, oh, a swing and a miss, Mr. Skeptic. How rare for you to make a mistake like this, to fail.
Oh no, I just need to make an adjustment.
Yeah, like, please fix what you've said. I've only failed once in my life. This is not one of those times. Please, like, fix what you said. Essentially, he looks like he's about to kill and get rid of their alliance right then and there. He does not take failure at all. Girin is still essentially laughing it up without actually laughing. Like, they're more than what you bargained for. They're...
You lost your numerical advantage.
Yeah.
Henry Destro's quality over quantity right then.
Yeah. And Dabi, his eyes look a little out of character for me.
Oh, how they're large?
Yes. But he's using his blue flames to burn away at this ice. Like I'm stronger than you. Like, your ice is nearly all gone. Like, this will be done right away. Whereas the magician's having hard times. Like, if you're having such an easy time, why don't you help me?
Yeah. Poor Sako.
Yeah. But then he turns around and sees all the toys that have come to help. And they're just all... I'm thinking of them just talking like chickens. Like, Dabi, 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 Dabi. Like...
They might as well be from Finding Nemo.
Oh, yeah.
The seagulls. Mine, 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 mine.
Yeah, they're hilarious, and they're doing work. Like, oh, he's broken out of his mental trauma.
And is able to use his quirk properly.
Yeah, so he's able to help out anywhere, and, still trying to get help for Toga.
Alright, what if I make an army of Dobbies?
That's scary, too.
Sako tells him that probably wouldn't be a good idea because they still need to have the Liberation Army there for Giganto Machina to fight.
Yeah.
Oh, how long until he wakes up? Hour and 5 minutes.
Like, like, some help he is, and boom! Ice jettisons from everywhere. My doubles! Like, he's funny. Like, as I mentioned before, I can manipulate ice. I'm like, okay. Yeah, he's chilling the
water pipes.
The water pipes just enough to make a little bit more ice, creates more ice, creates more ice. He has full control, this Eskimo Iceman. It's really boring as a villain. Like, yeah, I can keep manipulating ice. you're burning yourself away when you're exerting your quirk.
Yeah, he has no downside currently anyway.
Yeah, but we see a downside for Dobby, where he's literally
His skin
burned.
is starting to burn.
Yeah. Like, okay. War of attrition, it's most likely gonna lose there. Like, Doctor finally says, like, you're really gonna let them, like, just go out here? They're trying their best over there, without any sleep. What about you? Dun dun dun! Wakes up.
Machina enters the battle.
Immediately,
Or
head
wakes
is
up.
head is turned towards
The direction
the
that
direction.
they went.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
So we can assume that in the next chapter he'll probably already arrive there on the scene.
Maybe with some more gumption and more speed to get there. Next up, we have Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba.
I gotta admit, the last 2 weeks have actually surprised me with how high you put it.
Yeah. I'm liking these characters. I'm liking.
Is it because you're watching the anime?
That too. I'm
So
getting.
you're getting more of like why things are like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Also, I think really seeing how the characters move really did help me enjoy this series a lot more. So, in the last chapter, Inosuke, he had his boar helmet taken away from him, and starts off with saying, "Oh, I think I've met you before. Like, I don't remember ever meeting anyone like you. Like, get your hands off my helmet." Like, "Oh no, I've met you." Like, and I'm saying you haven't. It's like you're trying to psychologically fight a boar. Pig-headedness. like Inosuke's just getting mad. Whenever you're mad, your movements become more predictable. It's just a trick. Okay. Like, no, I have a good memory. I'm pretty sure I've met you. So he digs into his memory.
Physically.
Yeah. And Inosuke's just disgusted. What are you doing? It's like, oh, it's only 15 years ago? Oh, that was pretty recent. A girl came to me holding a baby. She said she came from a physically abusive household. And she was carrying a little baby boy. So she took him to this, essentially, church, this place of faith. And slowly she started recovering and healing. She had gone blind in one of her eyes.
Yeah, from the beatings.
Yeah.
But she had the same face as he did.
Yeah.
Or does.
Yeah.
But more
It was most
softer
likely
features.
it was most likely his mother. Like, I don't have a mother. I was raised by the boars. I'm like, oh,
humans
yeah.
born from boars.
Like, sure.
And then Inosuke tries to go in and
He
fight.
has not calmed down.
Nope.
Nothing. Nothing happened there.
Doma just tells him to listen to my story,
Yeah.
slashes him, and basically keeps him down for a minute so he can continue with his story.
Yeah, he's in the water, just bleeding very lightly. And she always sang to the baby about muttering about pinky promises. It's like that triggers something in him. He always thought it was Shinobu, but no. I guess he is some memories of his very young childhood is triggering. Like, his heart's beating with the force of, oh,
Wait.
some of this might be true.
Mm-hmm.
And his mother was perceptive enough, maybe not smart enough and lucky enough to find good people to help her, but perceptive enough to know
That Doma was eating his followers.
yeah, this is a faith where the ultimate sacrifice is to offer yourself to this being. And she didn't want to do that, and she didn't want that to happen to her son, so she tries to escape. And she ends up at a cliffside.
With nowhere to go.
Yeah.
So she chooses to just throw him over the cliffside
Yeah.
and hope for the best.
That is
before
a better option than being eaten.
Yes. And she's very remorseful about even having to do this.
Yeah.
She's saying sorry. Fortunately, there was water, so he didn't die on impact.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess he was able to...
Babies are spongy, so they float and they can take more damage.
Babies are spongy. 2019, babies are spongy. So, he obviously made it on shore.
Yeah, and
grew up.
Yeah, in the upper moon, he taunts Inosuke like, "Oh, I ate her bones and all. So didn't leave anything left."
And she was miserable.
Like, yeah.
And we learn her name. It's Kotoha.
Yeah, and he's getting mad because this is triggering his early memories. But he went from not caring and not knowing that he had a mother to now he's bent on revenge. Like, my mother, my comrades, like the person who took everything away is right before me. I'm gonna send you to hell.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you didn't care about her like 5 minutes ago. Now she's your main focus for wanting to kill him.
True, but if you had your something from your past drudged up and you had the memories there, I could see that resonating very powerfully, especially because he never was able to have that. So he's always had that longing, and that's why he wanted to ask Shinobu, hey, were you the person who was having that song? And now that he was never able to ask that, it just makes it more frustrating for him.
I understand it. I understand it a little bit more now.
So, good chapter overall. I liked it. I liked everything that they've been doing recently with Demon Slayer.
Ready, next up, Yui Kamio, Let's Loose. Yeah, top 5.
Oh, this is 5 for you?
Yeah.
I lost track.
Yeah. So Kito is still underneath the brainwashing cookies effects, and Koyagi is trying to take and force Kito's first kiss. She is still hesitant about it as well, but she really wants it. Yui is still chained up. She's given up at this point. She's lazing about.
But then she wakes up.
Yeah. Someone comes in.
And then we cut away from that to go back to Kito.
Kito, he's saying goodbye to his purity. Like, nope, he can't do it. He physically removes himself.
Looks like he does a death roll.
Yeah. Just kept spinning and spinning and spinning. Surprisingly, didn't kick her in the face. Like, like, Kito, I love you. And
it's like
he does the cat thing of ee! Like, just so, like, hair standing on end when he hears that. It's like, we're still in high school, like, we should get to know each other.
Puts fingers together.
Yeah, like, Hinata. It's like, oh, like, he's got better defenses than I thought, or maybe he's got no experience, like, maybe he's only a playboy on the surface. Like, I haven't even brushed my teeth yet. Like, he wants his first kiss to be, like, perfect. Perfect. So he's able to resist, and then Yui comes out with some dude. It's like, oh, there's 2 Yuis? Like, what's going on? It's like, oh, Kito, I didn't know you were so familiar with her. Like, that's nice, but she's still kind of... I'm not sure if she has natural blush or what.
I think she's just blushing out of embarrassment for him because he's like, oh, she's like, oh, I didn't know you had a girl you were interested in.
Yeah.
I thought you were kind of interested in me, kind of face.
Yeah. But then Kito is on his knees, like, who are you? Like, not even noticing who she is at all. Then Koyagi gets berated by this guy, who turns out to be her older brother. She hides behind Kito, and for some reason Kito and this guy do not get along from the get-go. This guy, he looks like really tall, pretty boy, maybe kind of a delinquent, but no, he's quite the opposite. He's student council president. He works so hard, he's so smart, and he has and Yui in white is essentially like the secretary or second in command. So they spend a lot of time together with student council work.
But of course, Kito didn't know this.
Yeah, and he states she's good to have under me. Like that's an innuendo
Yes.
right there that I had to reread to get.
Oh.
And I'm like, ew, because Kito likes reading into things.
That's too intimate with you.
Yeah, and Emmy just shows up like 233. Oh, the number one guy to be in the running for Yui's boyfriend shows up. I wonder how Kito's gonna deal with this. Yeah,
And
so
he chastises Kito for not being able to tell the difference between Yui and his sister Koyagi.
yeah, he like you back off before you embarrass yourself. Like he's getting mad, and it looks like he's about to say something or punch him, but no, he just gets down,
Cries.
and starts crying, and can't take this. And Koyagi's just like comforting him, pat, 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 pat. The next day, she just shows up like, oh, nothing's happened.
Here you go, and just puts the food onto his cheek.
Onto his cheek, yeah. The student council president.
Well, this is actually like all in Kito's head, but this whole instance of
the student council
Yui and
president,
the president
embracing each other
and rather
risque situation, but it's just in his head.
Yes. And then his face just distorts.
Yeah.
Just crying.
Yeah. Like, I'm disappointed in you, Yui. Like, I didn't know, like, you were that kind of girl.
And they're like, but she's not.
Yeah. And Ebby shows up out of nowhere. It's like, I thought you would be better than just sitting around here. You don't even know how much time Yui spends with him. It's like, I thought you were on my side. It's like,
I'm on nobody's side.
Like your side. Yeah, I'm on nobody's side. Whenever, as long as she's happy and can live a happy school life, that's fine with me. Like, aw, good friend. Bad for Kito. I like Kito.
So, Koyagi also explains that there are those who look up to the life lovers, which Kito is the head leader of. And then the other quieter students all look up to the student council. And since he's the president, that's where the focus is.
Authority figures. So Kito thought he was the chosen one to be with Yui White. Like what about me? Koyagi says. I don't even know who you are. I don't know you.
That's vampires.
Yeah. So this is the real student council talking now with Yui and White, and says essentially he shows off his plan to get rid of the
people that buy their way into the school rather than going through merit.
Yeah, this is a school with reputation. Like, it has a reputation to uphold. It has standards, so everyone should live up to those standards. So here's my plan to make sure everyone can be the utmost of a student. So he takes out his book and shows that every male should dress up like him. Everyone should dress up like Yui, and act as them. She's going to be essentially the Joan of Arc of this revolution, being the center point for portraying the epitome of good student, of beauty, of what this school has to offer.
Meanwhile, the president also mentions that when talking about, Yui and White asks, who are you talking about when you're talking about these people? Are you talking about like Kito? And then he's just like, well, yeah, I guess I am talking about Kito.
Yeah, when talking about the people, lazier people.
People with no talent.
Yeah, and like you have, essentially, she doesn't say, but I think she will. Like, Kito
is my friend.
Does actually try.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's like, she's Yui. You're so pure and white.
Yeah. Like, is that why you summoned me here? Like, you've been chosen as the pure as lily is white. It's like, I'm sorry, but there's
darkness inside me.
Yeah, I might look pure, but there's darkness inside me. Like, darkness, nonsense.
And then she does.
She willingly reveals Yui in black. Like he's straight up crazy, and Yui thinks it's crazy too. But this is her doing it on purpose.
Yes.
So this isn't something that she doesn't know about. This isn't something that she
aware.
hates. She knows it happens.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe kind of. I don't think it's like Taisei.
Oh, where they share the same mental space.
Yeah, I think they both live out the life. I think they both know all their memories. They don't have to do the journal thing that Taisei does. They both live through the same life.
Sorry, I guess I should have said for Taisei how they switch personalities day and night, but they know of each other's existence. See, I was assuming that Yui and White didn't know of Yui and Black's existence.
I thought of that. I thought that as well up until here. But this adds a unique twist that made me want to put it
Higher
in the top 5.
Got it.
And then Kito says he's going to go confront the student council president.
Kito awakens.
Yeah, like this is really cool, and also because this is supposed to be a secret. This is her revealing that secret to someone who had no prior knowledge of Black Yui. The only ones, as of right now, are some shaman, Yui and White, Ebi, and Kito. Those are the only people that know. Oh, and the two
girls.
delinquent girls.
Yeah, because
so that's like 6 people.
It's a very small group of people.
Yeah, but this is number 7. It was really cool. I liked it. Next up is One Piece. A fight's breaking out in Rasetsu town, and everyone's blowing their cover. It's like they were trying to be so secretive, and then Sanji gives up his cover, Zoro gives up his cover. They start getting attacked by Drake, by Orochi, and Zoro uses his 720-pound Phoenix attack, and it just gets smacked out of the way
by Kiroshiro.
Yeah. And saving Orochi.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why he cares so much about Orochi. I don't know.
Well, he just says because I'm the guard dog, basically.
Yeah. Drake shows up and tries to fight.
Mm-hmm.
Saving Toko.
Yeah, Sanji has to get out of there and save Toko. Well, Zoro is just like, here, you take Toko and get her out of here.
Frankie blows his cover and shows up.
Gives cover for Zoro as he keeps trying to fight Kiyoshiro.
Usopp gives up his cover. Nami gives up her cover.
Yeah, each one
Robin
is trying
gives up
to
her cover.
Give the other one time to get away.
Yeah, it's like...
I like
this
what's
is
happening.
This is not the time, but why are you doing this? It's
I like
throwing a wrench into their plans.
Yes, but I still like it.
Yeah, I like it as well, but it's aggravating to the people who want to do stealth.
No stealth.
And because this is still being broadcast, Luffy is able to see...
FBI, open up!
Luffy's still able to see the broadcast. Queen's there just laughing, like, oh, going after Orochi, ha.
Hilarious.
So funny. Like, oh, there's criminals from the flower capital, new fresh meat. And it's Kid and Hitakori Kamazo.
Yep.
He's locked up in chains and he's just laughing.
Very odd laugh.
Yeah. So like,
Queen's like, I don't believe you.
Like Cap yeah, like Jaggy. I thought his name was Kid.
I always refer to him as Kid.
Yeah.
Captain Kid. I guess that's Luffy's pet name for him. Just like he calls Trafalgar Law Trophy.
Yeah, that's funny. But yeah, and he was shouting and rushing at them, at the prison guards.
Blowing his cover, even though he was hiding away.
Yeah, it's like, why is he doing this? Like, oh, he starts monologuing, like, I thought you hated the way you left. Like, you stop yourself from ever laughing again. You would beat anyone half to death if we're making fun of your laugh. Why are you doing this? Why are you crying?
It was right around this part where he's just like, I was like, that was why you ended up covering your face with the mask. And I was like, it was Killer.
It was Killer. I was like, oh, such a good reveal here. And Killer is crying. And okay, so
what did you do to my friend?
Yeah,
to
because
make him...
because I believe this was the second in command.
I didn't look up the pirate rankings for him, but I know he was. When you see Kid, you see Killer.
Yeah.
If he wasn't second in command, he definitely was at least third. He was like up there. He's one of probably the only members of Kid's crew that I can name.
Yeah. So like, and he also says like, where did everyone else go? Did Orochi do this to you? Did Kaido do this to you? Like, no, he's been brainwashed and.
Well, he's been given the smile fruit.
By the smile fruit.
Yeah.
But
Kid doesn't know anything about that.
Yeah, his crew's all gone. Doesn't know who it was. Their Kid and Killer are tied up, and Queen says that if Luffy dies, they'll get to live. But then once they die, you just keep fighting.
Well, he's drowning them. He has them like dunked underwater.
Yeah, and wrapped up in chains, so they're
gonna be suffocating.
Yeah. So he really has no option here. Like, this is the end for you and them.
You or them.
Yeah. Queen doesn't care.
Luffy
like,
tries
you're
to
all
fight
going.
against him.
Yeah, you're all going to die. It's like the one Luffy saying this is like, shut up. The only ones who decide where I'll die is me.
Mm-hmm.
And we hear, boom. Like,
yes.
What was that? It's like we just lost signal from the guards.
It's Big Mom.
Yeah. Or Shiruku. I don't know what that is. Is it a food? Name of a food?
I think that was the food that kept being taunted at her and saying that there was a food in udon that Chopper kept talking about.
Okay. So I think she's just gonna burst on through. I don't know how Luffy's going to get out of the thing other than just someone just going clink. It's broken. Because he can't do it because of the sea stone.
Correct.
If he probably could break out of it if he didn't have the sea stone cuffs.
But with the Killer reveal and then Big Mom finally getting there and all the fighting that was happening at the beginning, I had to put it at number one. I was like, the Killer reveal, I was like,
it was great.
That was a great reveal. Number two was a very close contender for me. So, alright, what do you got next?
Next up, Jujutsu Kaisen.
I also had that really high.
Yeah, Kugisaki is blowing it out of the water with her ability.
Oh my god!
She's like, we had Itadori chapters, we had Megumi chapters. This is her chapter.
This is her spotlight.
Well, chapters.
Yeah, plural.
Yeah, so she's using essentially her body as the voodoo doll because they're linked between the rose poison. There's so much pain, there's so much agony from this that no one should be able to. This is a game of chicken, where if she stabs herself, she's going to be hurting both of them because both of them are linked.
Correct.
So like, okay, this is game of chicken. The end of last chapter.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see who gives up first. But he thinks like, okay, we'll still be able to fight and attack with this, with so much pain and agony of this toxin.
They won't be able to move.
Like, you won't be able to move. And Itadori just
really
like he's in
a
a great pose, charging up his attack. And like, how can you move? She uses her ability to stab. They both wince, not being able to defend in that small moment, and he punches, and now he's able to move. And because Itadori is a vessel for Sukuna, which is the king of lethal poisons, he's not affected to the toxins. He can deal with some pain if he's immune to the neurological side of the toxins.
Yeah, so he does the punch, and he's punching Chikazu, which is the skull one.
Yes.
Looks more like
the
a
Ojama.
Ojama. And it's just hit after hit after hit.
Yeah.
And she goes and stabs another nail into her arm.
Yeah, and then he just keeps punching and punching and punching.
And then they choose to switch opponents.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, like swapping, like you brat, like I'm not going to deactivate this ability. Like it's like he's thinking about it, but like no, I can't. Like we still have a good chance. But his brother lets out a whelp.
He looks pathetic on the ground.
Yeah, like the next, she might kill him.
Yeah.
Right then and there. So they release it so that they no longer take the pain. If she stabs herself now, she'll be the only one in pain.
Mm-hmm.
So Itadori, like fighting hand-to-hand combat now, he released it
Eso
without
releases
knowing.
Yeah.
The Wing King comes out. I guess those two abilities might not be able to work at the same time.
I guess not. I mean, maybe one or the other. Or maybe he didn't feel like he needed to use it because they were already poisoned.
Maybe.
So he just chose not to. So he uses his Wing King ability and then is going to go and attack Kugisaki from the back.
Yeah, Kugisaki's has a floating nail just ready to stab at into his face. Itadori is charging up his Black Flash.
Yep, to hit Eso.
Yeah. And they have a great side-by-side attack of Black Flash.
That is the image that is on the screen right now.
There's nothing else you could have chosen. It's fantastic.
Because
The
now
art style's so good.
yeah. Now she can do it.
Yeah.
And you just see both of them. Esso's arm is completely blown off.
Yeah. His head is protruding from his mouth outwards.
Yeah, the Chikazu, the skull Ojama.
Like his younger brothers, like, don't die, younger brother. Like, oh, and since the three brothers are linked, the Ojama uses his last ditch effort to try to take her out. She's like, oh, I haven't shown you this one. New ability. Or ability she's been hiding.
Yes.
Hairpin. Like, boom.
Right through his head.
Yeah. Don't worry. I'll be sending your brother.
Your big brother your way soon.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh.
She stays composed the entire time.
She looks pissed.
Yeah.
She doesn't care as she's about to be attacked from
like,
behind, and then confidently does it, and then just like, oh, you're next. It's great. Like everything is really on point and solid with that.
In the number 2 slot, we have Dr.Stone. So, Amaryllis, Senku, Gin, and Soyuz are trying to make Kohaku a Koharu, right? Or is this on Kohaku?
Kohaku. The easy way I can remember the two is because of Inuyasha. Sango's younger brother is Kohaku. When I think of Kohaku, Kohaku was a fighter. Koharu is not a fighter.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I associate the names.
Yeah, so they're trying to make Kohaku a proper girl. One that can be as beautiful to join the master's harem. So she just starts, okay, first thing we gotta change you into a proper dress. So she just starts taking off her clothes. Amaryllis is not prepared for this. Like, what are you doing? Like, just out in the open like this? How brazen.
There are guys here.
Yeah. What are you
they
worried
don't
about?
care.
Yeah. Like, it's really hard to move in this. It's like, kicks are especially hard. As she does.
A bicycle kick.
Yeah. And
like that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, we don't do that. Like, let me at them and holding its sword and shield.
Don't need that either.
Yep. Like, why are these your go-to accessories? Like, it's pretty funny, but it's gonna be really hard to have Kohaku fit in like this. As long as she doesn't say anything, she might be okay.
So Senku is like, oh well, I'm gonna need to go ahead and get my lab.
Yeah. If we're going to start working on this, part of this plan, it's not just you joining, but we need to find a way to make the petrification beam. So they need the lab. They go back to the ship. They go to the Perseus, and it's overrun by the Master's men.
Mm-hmm.
And we see the essentially leader of this group.
One of the top brass.
Yes, Ibarra, Minister Ibarra.
And he's tall.
He is very tall.
He looks like he's 10 feet tall.
Yeah, and Kirisame is also there.
Mm-hmm.
She was the
one who did the attack in the 2 chapters ago.
Yeah, in the flashback. Yeah. And he says, "Oh, this is magnificent craft. Like, it's sure to make the master happy." Kirisame says that we should destroy it instead right away.
Because it's way too advanced.
Yeah.
And it's considered sorcery.
Yeah.
But Ibarra's that's not what the master wanted. He wanted it, so it's going against him.
Yeah. Or do you think destroying this is you're telling me what to do essentially? Nope. It's oh, okay. Oh, these are neat clothes.
We could sell these.
Yeah. And he tips over Chrome on top of another ally.
Yeah, and shatters him.
I was
ugh.
I felt pain there. Kohaku runs out, blows her cover, and she's found out by Kirisame. Essentially, what are you doing here? It's, another girl. She's prepared to fight. So the fight ensues right off the bat.
Not only that, but Kohaku doesn't even notice her presence.
Yeah, she is taken by surprise, which is very hard to do. But she's still able to dodge all of her hits except for one in which she
couldn't move her leg properly because of the dress.
And she's in agonizing pain because she was just kicked full force and her spine and neck connected with a rock.
Yeah, painful.
Yeah, so she's still blocking and blocking and blocking. She knows she has to do something now.
I chose this image here as the one where she's overwhelming her.
Yeah, Kohaku doesn't get overwhelmed.
It's what do I do now?
Yeah, so she yells out,
"Lab!"
I laughed so hard. I was I was not expecting this. I was expecting tie her up or something like that. Lab. It's she screams it. Everyone on the boat hears it. Lab. Need lab. Somehow or other.
And then Kisame is just
lab? What? Oh yeah, Soyu's pretty smart. He's pretty smart. It's oh yeah. No one besides
the Kingdom of Science people would know what
a lab is.
So Gin
hey, lab old buddy, old pal. It's looks like your girlfriend needs you. Oh yeah, she gets very jealous whenever there's a girl in her way. She screams for her boyfriend. And Kirisame's thought process of how she's being manipulated into thinking, oh, this is how it went? That she was crying out. Oh, okay. And then she grabs the back of Senku's head and proceeds to, looks like she kisses him on the mouth.
But it's a cheek kiss. And Senku just does not care.
Yeah.
He's eh.
Meanwhile, everyone else, including Kirisame, is
she's blushing.
Yeah. This is too much public displays of affection. And she's fine, take yourselves at home right at once. I don't want to see you around here again. Oh, she just let them go because she was embarrassed. Oh, they can use that to their advantage.
Yes, they can.
Yeah. Soyuz is still flabbergasted about the PDA right there, but she yelled out, hopefully there's someone. There has to be someone out there that can help out.
A certain somebody who was diving off of the boat at the time.
Yeah. Ginro?
Ginro.
Yeah. He's been
Hiding
hiding
in a
in a
barrel.
barrel. He has some food. He has some water. It's like, oh, they need the lab. Of course they need the lab.
They totally need me.
Yeah. Oh, but there is one other.
Yeah.
Suika.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on with her right now. I kind of was wondering.
I want her to come in
at
at the
end
last minute.
with
Like,
a clutch.
like,
thing.
oh yeah, I did this, or like I've been waiting for this to happen so I can come and help.
Yeah.
I don't think she'll figure out some makeshift invention to help out. Or like, oh, you've been collecting this? It's like, well, good. We can actually use this. Because she's a good forager.
Yes, she is.
So, and, you know, a good scout. It's like, oh, while you were doing this, we got stuff done. And last, but definitely not least, number 1, Chainsaw Man. Aki pulls out his sword, which Power sees more as
A spike. Looks kind of like a nail.
Yeah. If you crop out that part, it's just a nail.
Mm-hmm.
So he's fighting the bladed devil, maybe the.
I call him the
devil.
Swordman Devil.
Swordman devil. Yeah.
Just like we have a Chainsaw Man.
Okay.
Swordman.
So Swordman devil, and Aki's able to move out of the way, and he yells out fire. Okay, there's a verbal cue as he's stabbing into him, but instantaneously, a phantasm finger
off of the
flicks.
panel.
Yeah.
It's off the panel.
Yeah.
Which gives it more of a otherworldly type being that's like helping him.
Yeah, and flicks the sword into the devil. It's like, okay, it's flicking it at full force, and there's a voice that
Says 3.
3. Like, huh, okay. So then the attacks ensue from the Swordman devil, and Aki doesn't make contact with him, but then says fire. That one, the finger again shows up and stabs him in the shoulder. The voice says 2. Aki, again, being further away, is flicked and thrust forward into him again. 1. Aki is thrown back like, I've had enough of that creepy thing. Like, this isn't Kon.
Nope.
He calls it curse, finish it, 0. He's unable to move.
A giant hand appears.
Yeah. He's unable to move, and he is lifted into the air, and he is feasted upon by...
This is the image that's on the screen.
Yeah, a rib cage of a demon, of a dual-headed demon with horns that is literally eating him, draining him of his blood. Not enough to revert him into a human-like form, so maybe he's not like Denji. But Aki looks like he's done.
Yeah, like
so
the
he asks Power, you know, how's Himino, because she was bleeding out. Like she needs a doctor. Like, I'm able to do a little bit, but not much. The guy said he had a gun. Can't really get that in this day and age.
Unless you're a police officer or a devil hunter, which means he could be with the devil hunter organization.
Yeah. But the gun devil says it wants Itadori's.
Yeah, he recalls him saying that.
Yeah. Well, the gun devil says he wants Denji's heart.
Denji's heart, yes.
I got it right the first time.
No. I was just gonna say, I'm like, it was the conversation that happened before. That's all I was saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. You said it right though.
Yeah, and some girl comes up and starts talking to Aki, but not really. Doesn't look like that at first. It's like, huh, like explaining his ability. I'll run him through his spike enough times he'll die. Huh.
I was like,
That's pretty nice. And she literally just one hand picks up this huge devil. Like, why'd you lose? Like, I let my guard down. Like, well, go on, kill him. And she looks like average Joe Schmo blended with the background character. He readies up an attack. Aki gets his sword out, and before he can even move and get into a stance, he's behind him, and he has already attacked. Aki, maybe not through his chest, but definitely slicing at his upper torso.
Mm-hmm.
Aki is taken aback, and that's the end of the chapter.
Yeah,
I
Swordman
have
Devil's
no
back
idea
alive.
where this series is going right now. I am so scared, and I am so interested. So many questions, and the art style is just so cool. Ah,
Yeah,
So,
it was my number 2. So.
yeah, it's there have been a lot of great chapters, a lot of new series. There's just so much that we have to go over. I don't want to make this 4 parts. So, as far as right now, we will continue on with 3-part series. They might be an hour long each, or pretty close to it.
Mm-hmm.
If you stick with us through to the end, you guys are my favorite viewers. Absolutely. Yeah, greatly appreciate everyone who takes their time to listen to us.
There's a lot of content to cover.
Yeah, and these are just our opinions. It really is just how we feel about these chapters, about Shonen Jump, where it's going.
Mm-hmm.
We're just having fun with it.
Yes, indeed.
So that'll wrap up this week in Jump number 16.
Catch y'all later.